Welcome back to LFBT Pod. This is Emily.
And this is Jenna. And sorry guys, there's no video today. But tell them why that is, Emily.
Head over to our YouTube channel where we will be posting a bookstore vlog.
Yep, we went book shopping today, and we're actually filming the episode in the car. So
Yeah.
if you want to see what we got up to at the bookstore, head over to our YouTube. We'll be posting there, and then also check out our socials. We'll be posting some content there this week as well. But other than that, let's get into part 3, Vanities.
Hello, bookish friends. So we are getting into part 3, chapter 1 for now.
Yeah, and we start this chapter off with Willem's point of view. It's a little bit of a time jump in the future, probably around 4 years, and Willem is actually probably around 37 years old at this point.
In a relationship, or he was.
I guess recently out of a relationship.
A very long one.
Yeah, he's in the film industry, really kind of his career's taking off in the film industry. He's been in a couple films, and he's booking things left and right. But yeah, he was with this long-term girlfriend, and now we have found out that they have broken up. But the reason they've broken up is
Good old Judy.
Good old Judy.
Oh, Judy.
And to no fault of his own.
No, it wasn't. So Willem's ex describes as, like, their relationship, Willem and Jude's, what I'm saying is as codependent, really. They depend on each other for a lot of things, and with them living together,
The time that they spend together.
Yeah, just over time it got really codependent, and that's why his relationship ended. It's sad.
Yes, that is very sad. But
choosing between two different people that you really enjoy.
And I think that was a big part of this chapter, because Willem, and we'll talk about this more about the end of the chapter, but Willem is kind of just feeling lost at this point. But we get a flashback from the time that Andy called Willem.
Yeah.
And when he called him, he was not happy.
He was screaming at him, "Why aren't you there for Jude?" And Jude is going through all this self-harm stuff, and Willem is away. He's filming, so
he's working.
He's working. He literally can't be there 24/7. Jude is an adult.
And he even did say, though, he told to Andy, I call him every day.
Yeah, he calls him every single time he gets a chance.
He's doing what he can do.
Yeah.
For being so far away.
Because he needs to make money as well. But Jude, that's a hard situation, you know?
Definitely.
That's really hard. And Andy is also feeling the heat because he feels like he can't help Jude at all. I mean, he is stuck, and they admit, they're like, there's only so much that we can do. And Andy's like, well, why aren't your other friends helping? Well, Jude doesn't want them to know.
Yeah.
He doesn't want, he
feels like a burden.
Yeah, like with his stuff that he deals with now with his leg and back and those issues. But we go back to Willem and Jude's relationship of codependency quite a bit in this chapter, I think.
Definitely. I mean, even so that when Willem was looking for a place to live on his own, he was looking at places that had an elevator, so that
a working one.
Yes, so that if Jude ever needed to come to visit, or if he wanted to, he would be able to. And I mean, I'm sure that caused a lot of or maybe strained the relationship of him and his girlfriend.
100%.
And that was a hard situation, I'm sure, because it was just basically she gave him the ultimatum of, it's either me or Jude.
Yep.
And I think Willem chose the best choice here in this situation, with knowing how much has already happened between the two of them. I think he made the right choice.
It's later described as Willem is feeling as though his relationships are not as strong as his friendships either. So he doesn't really see the relationships being, how would you word it? Like,
he doesn't see them as fulfilling as his friendships.
Yeah, fulfilling. Oh, that's a good word. Yeah, fulfilling. Because he feels like these strong friendships with all these,
it's a different kind of love.
It is. It's completely different than a relationship kind.
So then we kind of find out that Willem is kind of living with Jude still.
He is.
And he's taking care of him and making sure that he's there for him. But also is still in this acting career and has to leave every once in a while. But he also is kind of confused at the end of this chapter, and he doesn't know if he fits in with the acting crowd. And I mean, it relates back to the title of this part, right? Vanities.
Yep. These vanity-filled people are all around him, and he wants to just revert back to his genuine friendships like all the time, but he can't because he's away at these productions and he has to, be with them and be in that world while he's there. So it's you're looking at two different sides of Willem,
Yeah, he's stuck in
so sad.
In a fork in the road.
Chapter 2 of Vanities, we kind of get into Malcolm,
and we also see a side of the boys' friendship that we haven't got much detail of yet, and that's Malcolm and Jude. So they actually have a really cute friendship as well. I think Jude has like really good friendships with each one of them. And they're also different.
I love that so much.
Me too.
But anyways,
Malcolm is we know he comes from money, so he's the one that's always just been,
taking care of other people.
Not afraid to
write a check.
Yeah.
Like from the first part. Yeah. Yes.
And everyone knows him for that. So that's just important to keep in mind during this chapter.
Yeah. So it's kind of set in the future a little bit, but not present yet.
Yeah, so just a few years ahead, Jude is around 36.
Yeah, 36 years old. So he's one of the younger ones, too. So we know that the boys are quite a bit older into their careers and everything.
Malcolm actually opened his own business, and we find out in this chapter, and I don't really know what it is. I just know it's called Bellcast.
From what I gathered, it's like, I don't know if it's architectural. I think it is because he really focuses on that. So whenever Jude gets the new apartment, Malcolm is like, oh, let's create stuff. Like
he's ready.
He's ready to renovate this entire space because when it's described, like the Green Street apartment, that's the one that Jude is living in right now, it's described as like almost empty. Like there's not really much going on. It's bare, and there's like really not like much at all to that
needs
apartment.
To be made a home.
It's a studio.
Okay, gotcha.
So imagine like a studio, it's like all open. They're wanting to close off some areas. So Malcolm is the one to call.
Absolutely. Get that boy in there.
So we'll talk a little bit more about that in chapter 3 because it does go over that a little more, but he's installing some things that Jude is not 100% sure on because, well, we'll just talk about that later. I don't want to spoil it for you guys.
The main point, I think, in this chapter, too, is really we learn about kind of Malcolm's dad.
Yeah. So we know that Malcolm's dad has his own opinion for everything. The main thing is, though, so we mentioned that Willem just got out of a relationship for being too codependent with Jude. Malcolm's father teases him about it and saying that he refuses to grow up. While Harold, Daddy Harold, adopted Daddy Harold, says he has to find his own happiness with or without a relationship.
I love that. And that, I was telling Emily, that just shows the two differences between parenting styles.
Yes.
And also, I think, is going to show itself in the difference in the boys, how they were raised.
It's 100%. So we know that Harold is one of the sweetest people ever. He has always been there for Jude, and we see that he's always there for Jude's friends too. So it's like one big happy family. I love it. Well, happy, they're all they've
all got their
depressed
their situations. Let's
say
that.
Yes, 100%.
Speaking of situations, Malcolm needs some advice, I guess.
He needs some advice.
And he's contemplating getting married, actually. And
he doesn't know. Like, how do you not know? Like, maybe I'll get married.
He's just unsure. I feel like that's just a guy thing.
He's always been like that.
Yeah.
It's described as he was like very confused on his whole being.
100%.
100%.
But that's kind of where we leave off in chapter 2. He's asking Jude for advice on if he should get married or not, and
looking for a tux.
They were looking for a tux together.
So
Judy's kind of just there, and he's there for everybody's ups and downs, and he's a part of almost everybody's like core moments, I feel like.
He is. I think I don't know, just the friendships that all of them have, and they're all there for each other in different points of their life. I just find that quite beautiful. I value my friendships very much. I know Jenna does too, so.
Aww.
Okay, guys, so remember how you were so happy? It all goes downhill from here, I feel like.
Yeah, this one was a tough one for sure.
This one was so hard because, like, let's just go right into it.
Let's give a little bit of happiness, the only bit of happiness.
Oh, okay. You want to say it?
Malcolm's married, y'all.
Yay! He finally found somebody.
Good for you, Malcolm. We're happy for you.
Yay! Okay,
back to the sad stuff.
Okay, so the sad stuff is...
Let's just come out and say it.
JB is addicted to meth.
He's addicted to meth, and he can't admit that he's addicted.
No, he has ruined so many relationships now. So let's kind of get into that.
Let's do it.
So the first relationships that he ruined is his family.
Yeah,
and that actually was sad.
They were the ones who tried to have the first intervention with him. They were the ones who came to him and were like, we think something is wrong. You need to get some help.
And he is the one that has all this like positivity around him with his family and all of the beautiful women that surrounded him.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's ruined all those relationships because of his addiction is so sad to me. And
he did start to go see a therapist after that.
He did, yeah.
For a little bit.
He tried.
But I don't think it worked.
It didn't work. He can't admit anything.
He's just hanging out with the wrong crowd, and we get introduced to this new character in this chapter.
I don't want to talk about him.
I don't either, but we have to. I dislike this one very much.
Jackson.
It's Jackson, and he is a fellow artist who is also a fellow drug addict.
So they're in a relationship, and just, oh my gosh, it just makes me so mad I don't even want to talk about it. But anyways, he is not good for JB.
He's just bad news. He
encourages the drug use,
makes fun of his friends, especially Jude.
Ooh, that made me so mad.
That was hard.
He literally made fun of Jude's disability of not like being able to walk properly.
Yeah.
Without assistance from anything, and that really oh my gosh.
Yeah, you just don't do that.
No, that was not okay. And JB knew that it wasn't right. But did he even stop him? No.
It was the environment he was in, and the substances that. I mean, I'm not going to say that was the sole thing that made him make those decisions. It was his brain too, but it was just not. It was not a good situation.
No.
And really, he's really lost contact with mostly everyone at this point.
Yeah. He argued with Jude and Willem, didn't he? I don't know what happened between him and Malcolm, though. But it's just so much has happened with their relationships. But besides that, I mean, JB's doing pretty good. He has a new exhibit.
Yep.
So I can't remember the name of it, but it goes over the typical workday lives of his friends. And so he is feeling... I don't know, he's not feeling successful as, as having a career. I mean, look at all of his friends. They're so successful in everything they do, and they're passionate about it. Like, he sees that passion in their career, but JB doesn't really have any passion.
And unmotivated, I think, too.
And he is unmotivated. I mean, the drugs.
Yes, definitely. Only person who has stuck around for JB is our good old Judy.
Judy's there for everyone.
He always is and always has been.
Whenever they're at their lowest, Jude is there for everything. He is like, hey, I'm here for support, whether you like it or not.
Remember when I said he is involved in almost everybody's like core moments?
He is.
He is.
100% core moments there. That's quite beautiful. Jude is just like, oh my gosh.
And even so much so that, like, at the end of this chapter, all the boys are together again. And JB is high.
Yep, so he is high pretty much all the time now. And
not taking care of himself.
Nope.
Being hateful to the people that he so says he loves.
JB passes out in his apartment, and then when he wakes up, he's like surrounded by all of the boys. Like, he is surrounded by all of them. And that's when they were like, hey, let's do another intervention.
Intervention number 2.
Yep. So this one is just the friends. And it
didn't end well, let's just say that.
JB gets into a fight.
Yep.
And makes fun of Jude's disability the same way that Jackson did. And guess what happens?
Listen, y'all, you are who you hang around. So just remember that.
Yeah, so
I'm telling you, Jackson was a bad influence, and I didn't like that guy from the beginning.
I didn't like him either. He makes me really mad, but we're not going to talk about him much longer, guys. Willem decides to
sucker punch that hoe.
I'm so happy for him.
I was literally screaming, like, go Willem! Woo!
I was too. Seriously, he deserved it. Oh my gosh, he deserved it. He made me so mad. Oh my gosh, he was so high though, but it's another thing of like, come on, you deserve that punch. You really did.
Yes.
So he hears a crack and then he like passes out. JB is out.
Yeah. And then the next thing we know, he wakes up in the hospital and he looks around and the only person that's sitting there is Jude.
Jude is the only one there.
And
he's always has been.
The last words out of JB's mouth were, forgive me, forgive me, forgive me.
Stop.
Do we think he's going to get clean?
It's hard to tell because I've read so many reviews of like this book getting worse, and I'm like, oh gosh, I could just imagine him passing away in his apartment and nobody is there for him or anything. But I think he still lives with people, if I'm not mistaken. Like, he still lives with the artist community. But
we'll just have to see, I guess. But that one definitely was a hard one. I mean, we all go through those moments with our friends where you get so angry at them, but no matter what, if it is a true friendship, you know, your person's always going to be there.
100%.
I mean, JB just talked shit about him and
literally made fun of his disability, and he's still like, Jude is still there for him. Yeah. That's so beautiful.
I'm going to sit right here till you wake up.
And we're going to talk about this. We're going to get through this, you know, and I mean, that's it. We don't have any more left of that part. That's it. And it was, oh my gosh, it started off so happy and then it just got really sad.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Thank you.
For part 3. I mean, this one was a roller coaster of emotions.
It was. And we're just going to go downhill from there, I think.
I hope not, but
we already know it. But we're pretty excited because we have some new content on TikTok and on YouTube.
Make sure that you check out both of those platforms. Yes. It's going to be at LFBT Pod. And we can't wait to show you some of the new content that we have planned. We've actually picked our next book that we will be reading.
Can we put an applause track in?
Sure, put the applause in. So, we are going to be reading The Valentine's Hate by Sydney Halston.
I'm excited about this.
I'm really excited too. It's a cheesy rom-com, you know.
And we'll do like a little teaser on like why we're excited about this and everything.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Tune in for this episode. Go ahead and grab your books if you want to join us and read along with us. Again, that's The Valentine's Hate by Sydney Halston. And that episode is going to be dropping the week of February 14th, Valentine's Day.
Yes, we're super excited. A little romantic book for the romantic month.
And it's pretty short, so we know we started out with a really long one.
That's what we were also really excited about.
It's a short one, so grab it, tune in with us. we're super excited. We hope you are too.
We love you. Bye.